The college football experience, Northwestern Wildcats 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with the promo code TCESGPN. So do that, and remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, everybody, Jim McMahon here, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Football experience, Northwestern Wildcats 2025 season preview episode, aka the Flying Squirrels. Yeah, look. W-I-L-D Cats. W-I-L-D Wildcats. Interesting time for the Northwestern Wildcats as this day and age. I feel like it's a tricky spot for these tougher academic schools like Stanford and stuff. But I think there is a path out of it if they just listen to Pick Dundee, right? Oh, you're probably wondering who the hell you're listening to. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Let's go. I loved that Steve Schnurr, Gary Barnett, Dwayne Bates, Darnell Autry, Pat Fitzgerald team. Let's go, Cats. Making some bad decisions over the past couple of years. It's okay. We can battle through it. Yeah. Interesting year for these Wildcats here. I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the College Basketball Experience. When the season goes live over there, we're live every night of the season, just like we are for football here. Give it up for Farmer, Stafford, Austin P with the Governors, South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and West Virginia with the Mountaineers. Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac. How are you, brother?
What's up, man? Yes, let's talk some Northwestern football. Interesting season ahead. Let's go.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. Well, I'm going to start off from the top by saying, Pat Fitzgerald had this thing pretty much going pretty well. I know that the last season he only had one win, and it was in Ireland against Scott Frost. But that was Nebraska's fault, not Scott Frost for that onside kick. But I thought they did him wrong, in my opinion. We'll see. But they had, before Fitzgerald got the axe, David Brauns was hired as a defensive coordinator, and then he became the head coach kind of by default, and he won 8 games in year one, which personally, I think if Fitzgerald was there, he probably would have won 10. Because remember, Fitzgerald had Northwestern in the Big Ten championship, man. Yeah. But Brauns did a really good job. Last season was, I would say year one was a really good job. Last season kind of sputtered some. So I don't know if they're ready for the conversation that to me, there is a blueprint. We see what Manny Diaz and Mike Elko did at Duke. We saw what Harbaugh did at Stanford. Now, Stanford kind of lost their way after that, but Andrew Luck might be able to get it back to where we think it should be. But Baylor is another tough academic school. Vanderbilt's tough academic school, quote unquote. They've figured it out a little bit, those three schools, Duke, Baylor, Vandy, and there is a blueprint, I think, to doing it. The other blueprint is run the goddamn option. All right. I've been asking for a long time. Jeff Monken is from Chicago. Now I'm not going to wish David Brauns firing because I think he's done a solid job. But where are you at with David Braun and this program as we enter the Big Ten with 600 teams year 2?
Yeah, for first year, I mean, the hand he was dealt. I mean, you've gone down it enough. With the Fitzgerald firing was bullshit. Let's call it like it is. But I mean, I thought Braun did a good job. He had got hired earlier as the defensive coordinator. They won 8 games. Had a winning record in the Big Ten last year. A little bit of a step back, but I mean, if you change that Duke result, maybe they have a different year. I mean, that was a crazy game week 2. And I don't know. It's a tough job, and it makes you appreciate how good Fitzgerald was for such a long time. He was in my opinion, one of the more underappreciated coaches, especially in the Big Ten.
Completely agree. I was a big fan. I would lock him up on the over often. And I think he should be a head coach again. To me, honestly, if you were a bunch of other schools, you should be interviewing him.
Wisconsin.
But yeah, I mean, all those schools should be. He's a very good coach. But David Brauns is a solid coach. I think he's done a decent job. And like I said, 12-13 in 2 years at Nebraska. At Northwestern is not that bad. And we'll see what they can do moving forward. So, yeah, I mean, Fitzgerald did turn down Notre Dame, by the way, right? Think about that. Think about that.
They boot him over that bullshit. Oh, yeah. My God.
Unbelievable.
Someone's got loyalty word. It means fucking nothing.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me in a similar vein of like Gary Patterson. It's like you're waiting for them to get back into coaching, but they're like, "Yo, fuck this."
Yeah,
like I'm a millionaire. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, and it's sad. That's a sad state of affairs when you take some of our best leaders, and do that to them. You know what I mean? Because I get it. I would probably be like that if that happened to me. I'd be like, yeah, no, I'll stay at home. You know what I mean? I would do whatever I got to do around town. I think he's helping out with like a high school team. Yeah. So I mean, 8-5. The question is can he get back to a bowl in year 3 for David Braun? Because I believe his contract wasn't that much. That doesn't mean that Northwestern would fire him, but there is a chance. I do think if you have like a 1-11 season or something, or 2-10 season or something, I think it is in the realm of possibility that they could, move on, because I believe his contract was a lot like Zach Arnett's after Leach at Mississippi State. I believe that contract's like the fine print of that thing. They can get out of that thing with a pretty decent buy, like not a crazy buyout. So,
it's just a 5-year deal, but like you said, the buyout is pretty low.
Yeah, I remember reading something like that at one point, but who knows? I'm not. I don't think he should be. I think even if they suck this year, I think he deserves another year. But just mentioning it because that's our job to do. All right. Let's talk about. They did land a 5-star quarterback here. Oh, did I mess up the slideshow here? Let me see if I can. There we go. Preston Stone. This dude saved SMU season in the Nevada game, week 0 last year. 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, was one time the biggest recruit in SMU's history. Allegedly. I don't really buy that, but 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's a very good quarterback. I was surprised he chose Northwestern because honestly, I thought he could have gone to a lot of schools and started. He's inheriting an offense that was 128th in scoring offense, 111th in pass offense, 122nd in rush offense, and 130th in total offense. Zach Lawan is the or Lujan, I don't know, Lujan, I think it is the OC. Wow, I mean, I understand the degree from Northwestern is valuable, but like, I was pretty shocked by Preston Stone going to Northwestern. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think people remember how good Preston Stone was his last year in the AAC. I mean, almost 30 touchdowns, threw for over 3,000 yards. Jennings was just a crazy talent, and he ultimately ended up beating him out. But Preston Stone did bring him back in that Nevada Week 0 game to save their season.
He's a good quarterback. I was a bit stunned at this. I'm wondering, like, I would love to know the specifics of what they paid him, because I would assume that there's a bunch of schools within the SEC and ACC and even the Big Ten that would have offered him. You're telling me that Minnesota couldn't have used Preston Stone? You're telling me that
Wisconsin,
Rutgers, all these ACC teams, shit.
Yeah.
I could do, I feel like 75% of the conference. Even in the SEC, I would say like Missouri. You telling me they wouldn't want Preston Stone? You're telling me Tennessee. A bit baffled here, but hey, nice get for the Wildcats. And he comes into an offense, besides him, that only returns 2 starters. Cam Porter, I feel like, has been in college for 20 years. I like Cam Porter as a running back. He is one of the returning starters. The other is left tackle Caleb Tiernan. Okay. I
mystery team.
They went to the portal, like I alluded to. Preston Stone coming in. Gavin Frakes, another backup quarterback from UVA, coming in. Wide receiver Chase Farrell from Stanford. Griffin Wilde from South Dakota State. That's a wideout there. Offensive tackle Xavier Gray from the Flamin' Libs of Liberty. Offensive lineman Martez Lewis from Minnesota. Evan Bernstein from South Dakota State. Anytime you get these South Dakota State guys, they're probably good. Talon Chandler, an offensive lineman from Missouri. All right. I mean, this is a major upgrade at quarterback. So I'm going to say the offense will be a lot better. Now, I don't think it will be, in the 50s or something, but I'll say it takes a solid jump forward from 130th. Give me like, I bet you this is a top 100 offense. I got it somewhere between like the 80s and like 105.
Oh, I mean, they have a legit dude at quarterback. Last year, their offense was abysmal. Lausch,
yeah.
Whatever. I mean, he finished with 7 touchdowns and 8 interceptions on the year. It was a painful unit, and that's why they were finished 4-8. And so, yeah, I mean, Lejean, however you pronounce the offensive coordinator, he's a South Dakota State guy. So you got Braun from North Dakota State, and then you got the offensive coordinator from South Dakota State. So FCS national champs all over the place.
Yeah, no, trick or treat. What happened in that game last year? You might have saw the first half. He was struggling. He got benched. They went to Jennings. Jennings was struggling, and they went back to Preston Stone, and he ignited the comeback. Yeah. So trust me, I've watched it a couple times. The defense. Well, they Tim McGargle, great name. 47th in scoring defense, 14th in pass defense, 91st in rush defense, 41st in total defense. Now, this is the old-fashioned question of like, because Braun's a defensive guy, so it's like, is the defense good? Probably. Fitzgerald hired Braun, I can see, but also Big Ten ain't known for their offenses, so I'm like, they're cooking the books a little bit just by who they're playing, but also, I do think the defense is probably pretty solid. How about you?
That stadium helps.
Yeah. Well, that's another reason why Preston Stone is a questionable decision to go to the extreme winds of Lakeside Stadium, which is fantastic.
They showed him the renovations of the dome, and he thought he was playing in there. They're like, no, we're out here this year.
It's like, wait, what? Really?
Yeah, their defense was awesome. I mean, they beat Miami of Ohio, who was a 10-win team, 13-6 week 1.
That was a good game. I watched that game. That whole game I watched. Yeah,
wasn't with that offense, and then They had games like 24-5 against Washington and 23-3 against Wisconsin and 31. Like they held Ohio State 31. Now it was 80-mile-an-hour wind, so that helps.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
their defense is always solid at Northwestern.
Yeah. I want to talk more about that Ohio State game because Northwestern, as much as they claim to have smart people, they're really dumb as shit sometimes. Yeah. Sorry, Wildcat fans. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right.
Oh, that game was at Wrigley, wasn't it?
Well, we'll talk, man. Give me a little bit here. They bring back 3 of 4 on the D line. Aiden Hubbard, Najee Story, Carmine Bastone, Mac Yulin is back at the linebacker spot, and one in the secondary, Josh Fusel. They did go to the portal, and they brought in Miguel Jackson on the D line from Utah State, Jack Sadowski from Iowa State, Yanni Karloftis from Purdue, Fred Davis from Jacksonville State with Rich Rod, Dylan Tatum from Michigan State, and then Darius Coffey from Memphis. So a lot of help in the secondary. That's where they brought back so little. So I like what they're doing there. The question is can they mimic these numbers, Mac? I kind of think they can. How about you?
Yeah. I mean, Northwestern does have a brand of football, like we're talking about. They usually are good defensively. A lot of it because they're not good offensively. They're Rutgers. What other teams? Minnesota. Iowa's the standard for these teams that I'm naming. They're always good defensively, and it keeps them in the games. And Karlaftis, he's the younger brother of George Karlaftis that went to the NFL. So yeah, nice get there. I think it'll be a good unit though.
Yeah, I think so too. Schedule might have a little bit more challenges. We'll talk about that in a minute. But folks, what to tell you that the college football experience, Northwestern Wildcat style, is brought to you by us. We are part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Yes. You can listen to every podcast episode on the network for free just by subscribing to the SGPN feed. Just type that into wherever you get your podcast. Just type in SGPN. Click that subscribe button. You'll get access to all of our episodes in one spot. So do that and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Think you know ball? Then you have to enter Circus Football Contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake, so if the entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week and go for the ultimate sweat and Circa Survivor. There's even the Circa Grandissimo for $100K Survivor contest as well. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Las Vegas, Nevada. What a great excuse to book a trip to Las Vegas, folks. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use the promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. Once again, Circa Sportsbook. All right, jump on over there. Do that. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport. I know it's summer, dog days of summer, but there's sports out there. MLB every day, CFL, golf, tennis, WNBA, and of course, college football futures. Look, MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. Use our promo code when you do. That's TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back. Shout out to Dilly Daggers in the chat. Mac, you know what we do here, buddy. State of the program. We talk about the coach. We talk about, I thought they did Pat Fitzgerald, one of their own, really dirty. So I did not like that. So I do question some of the moves that have been happening in Evanston of late, including everything going on right now with the stadium.
Here we go.
First off, Ryan Field. So I put a question mark here because they basically have 4 stadiums right now. It's hard to talk about here, but Ryan Field I thought it was awesome, and I thought you should have preserved that, but spent money that people kept saying they need to upgrade this thing. And they are going to upgrade it, but I thought they chose the worst possible solution to upgrade it. I would have kept the classic look and just built. We just saw what Texas Tech has done to their stadium to make it classic. Northwestern, to me, butchered everything. But look, this is what Ryan Field was. It was one of the oldest stadiums in all of college football. That was their original blueprints. This was a gem, in my opinion. It was everything that we say. You don't take my castle. This is it, man. This is come the fuck on, man. And I thought it was one of the better stadiums in college football. And yeah, did it need some work? Sure. You have to maintain shit. You know what I mean? Mow your fucking lawn. It's a classic. So I was devastated to hear the news of them moving on from it. And then though, I mean, look at that. It's a great looking stadium, dude. They just need to just throw some money into it. I'm sure you got to do some upgrades. It probably hadn't been upgraded in a long fucking time. So devastated because that look is royal, regal, classic, everything that's good about college football. Look at that. Come on. Then
I've been waiting for this review. I've been looking
look, you got Wildcat fans all giving each other flying squirrels. Then they went to this lakeside one, which is awesome, actually.
I know.
Like I did not realize they had this awesome interim stadium there. That is phenomenal. I think I'm actually considering going to Chicago just because I know this is the last year of this. Mac, I honestly think this is maybe like if you're going to get rid of Ryan Field, this is an awesome fucking replacement. This is without the bleachers, of course. This is Martin Stadium, and the lakeside is incredible. That's just incredible. What they did, I was watching this Miami, Ohio game, and me and Patty C were in the studio in LA there, and I was just taken back by the scenery. I was just like, I have to watch this Miami, Ohio Northwestern game. This is amazing. You could literally if it's a pass a little deep in that end zone, you're fucking going into Lake Michigan. You know what I mean? Like
goes down the hill into the water.
It was honestly like one of the coolest things I've seen in college football in a while. And I was like, fuck yeah, Northwestern, let's go. This is that stadium. They're playing there this year for a select few amount of games, which is awesome. It's just incredible. Unfortunately, this is only a short-term thing. I give this like a fucking honestly. Ryan Field, the old stadium, is a 10 to me. This is like a fucking 15 to me. Because check this out. You're Northwestern. And this is what drives me crazy about these fucking idiots, Mac. How can they be so smart so they don't play here in November?
That's when you need to play there.
That's exactly if you want to beat ranked teams. This is the advantage. The wins are going to be crazy. Ohio State going in there, or James Franklin at Penn State trying to, hey, we're going to try to do our precision passing attack. No, this is going to keep you in every fucking game if you stay there. It makes a lot of sense, man. It actually makes a lot of sense to stay there, right?
It's the Army Navy strategy. Control the clock, control the wind.
It makes so much fucking sense, dude. Like it gives them their best shot of winning, even more than Ryan Field, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing is it's a small crowd. It doesn't fit that many people, which is to their benefit because if you watch Northwestern over the years, all the other road teams, like when Ohio State plays there, it's like 70% Ohio State fans. So a smaller stadium like this, super small, intimate, is actually perfect for what they were trying to build. But, of course, these fucking idiots, obviously the Pat Fitzgerald fiasco, then they get this. And I still might go this year if they let me. But first off, they play a couple games at Wrigley. Now, here's the thing. I honestly think, I love a game at Wrigley. Like, you can't tell the story of the sport of football without, major games, whether it's college or pro or high school to a certain extent, at Wrigley Field, at Fenway Park, at Yankee Stadium, at the Polo Grounds. If you know your history, Forbes Field, Tiger Stadium, there was football basically survived because of baseball stadiums, right? Like, honestly, it really did. So I dig playing a game at Wrigley, just not when you're Lakeside. They should play when you're Lakeside. You need November and late October. They should be playing at Wrigley like week 1 when Miami, Ohio comes to town. And then, but they fuck it all up, man. I mean, I would gladly support more football games at baseball stadiums. In my opinion, like the NFL playing all these fucking games in like goddamn Brazil and Spain and Sweden and I don't know, every goddamn. I feel like Bangladesh is a year away. So yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. If the NFL was really cool, they would honor their history of their fucking whole sport, because so many NFL championships were played at Wrigley fucking Field. But no, they don't. But I do appreciate a game at Wrigley Field. I would consider going to it, flying all the way to go there specifically for that. That or Fenway. It's been on my list for a while there. But they decided to do this. These are the renderings, of course. It's not built yet. And I heard like there's like a noise thing. Like you're in an area where you like, this is the worst part about it, is like there's like they have some noise fucking thing too where they can't. We've doing this on purpose so that the noise can't get too loud for. I fucking hate them, dude. I gotta be honest. Like, look at this shit. Who wants to go to this goddamn soccer stadium? Like, this is just. This is not Big Ten. All right. This is of course another rendering there, and then this. It's just. It's a soccer stadium. You just picked a fucking MLS stadium or like a European soccer stadium. It's so depressing, dude. You fucking losers. You're all fucking losers. All right. You're going to have your goddamn shitty. Yeah. How's that noise going to work when you go to book concerts, by the way? Right? You fucking idiots. Right? There goes your Motley Crue performance in fucking whatever. They're calling it Ryan Field too, which is even more disgrace. Fucking piles of shit. God. I hate everything about this, dude. How can you go from what we just saw, both Lakeside and the honestly, the old Ryan Field looked like a castle that you had to storm, and you turned it into this modern day fucking bullshit, dude. This is a shopping mall. I am not excited. Just looks
like the Vikings.
You offer me free tickets, and I'm like, I would really have to be the only thing. It'd have to be week 0, and that'd be the only way I'd end up going. It's disappointing, man. It's really disappointing. But yeah, they suck. And the state of the program, in my opinion, and I'm being generous by saying 4 of 10.
It's way lower than 4.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of Braun winning 8 games last year. I think when I did that, I didn't do it in order of our show, because if I'd seen the renderings right before I rated the program, it would have got a fucking 0. But yeah, and the Bears leaving Soldier Field. Chicago's just all fucked up. All right, before I thought it was all propaganda. The media was saying. Goddamn murder rate and everything. It's like you can't do anything. Every time I've been to Chicago, I've had an amazing fucking time. Right? I don't believe the media, but I will say this: getting rid of Soldier Field, getting rid of Ryan Field, unfucking believable decisions. And the irony, Mac, is they have Wrigley Field right there for them. They get to go, like, that's a tourist destination. I bartended in fucking for a long time. People in LA would be like, yeah, we're going to fly over to Chicago, go to Wrigley. Wrigley and Fenway, those are the stadiums we want to go to. right? So it's like it's a world destination. That's what they should be doing with Ryan Field and Soldier Field. And they have an example right in their fucking city, but they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. Soldier Field, when they took down the columns and made it look like a corporate NFL stadium too, they suck, really. I love Chicago, but I'm buying the hype now. Yeah. State of the program is not very good. You just allowed in 4 teams from the Pac-12 that are all way better than your programs, that all have way better stadiums. You're moving to this bullshit stadium, but you did land a 5-star. Maybe that's why I gave him the 4. Yeah, this, they should be, they should use all that money for that filthy bullshit stadium and just build a statue of Gary Barnett, Hankowitz, and Pat Fitzgerald and Randy Walker. All 4 should have a statue. Instead, they're building that bullshit. What'd you give it? 1 of 10?
You know, they've been complaining about ice over there. Ice needs to go get whoever made the decision to put the roof over this, and then also Soldier Field. I was going to give it like a 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
they don't got much going for them.
They had it. I don't understand it. There's a blueprint for all this shit. If you know, like, how could you be so smart in so many ways, but so dumb in so many other ways? Yeah, I hope a lot
of 2 and 10s and 3 and 9s coming their way for a long time.
Well, we'll see. Let's dive into the schedule. But before we do that, I want to let you know that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million in first place. There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. So sign up over at Underdog Fantasy. When you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a new game-changing feature called Power Trends, essentially the best of the best of what their house model has to offer. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a very high ROI. I think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time. When the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data back bets, baby. MLB power trends, by the way. Speaking of the Cubbies, 254 and 147, a win rate of 63% and an ROI of 4.5% in their past 400 bets. What are you doing? Download the Rhythm app, check out power trends, and start betting smarter. You know damn well we will be. Get your free 7-day trial period today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. Shitting on Northwestern. I'm trying to be optimistic, Mac. But when they destroy these great things, it puts me in a bad mood. Next thing you know, they're going to telling me they're going to turn the Green Mill. Anyone out there, the Green Mill in Chicago, great fucking bar. They're going to turn that into a goddamn Burger King, right?
Why? They're going to put a dome on Wrigley. Watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing. Next up, the schedule. Can they get back to a bowl, Mac? Or perhaps win the Big Ten? They played the Big Ten championship not that long ago. They start off in New Orleans, taking on the Tulane Green Wave. The series goes back 100 years. And I'm kind of fascinated by this game. I actually think they might be live dogs. I think this is a game, Mac. Tulane lost a lot of production.
Mensa.
And I think Northwestern getting Preston Stone. I'll take Tulane, but I don't feel very good about it. I'm taking the points on that game. I think it's like an 8-point spread, is it? What's that? I saw that spread a couple days ago.
7 and a half. I like Tulane because I think that's going to be a tough spot for Northwestern coming down to that heat. last weekend in August. I mean, I think the humidity down there, those southern teams are tough to beat early in the year, cramping and shit. So yeah, give me Tulane. I still think they have the better roster, and I like Summerall.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a game though. This shit's gonna be like, I bet you this is like 24-24 with like 4 minutes left.
You think they'll score that many?
Well,
yeah, I got Preston Stone now.
Yeah, so he's thrown some for some major yards at Yeoman Stadium there in New Orleans. So 0-1, but I do think that game is winnable. Then the Leathernecks of Western Illinois come to town. I wonder if they're fucking up their stadium too. But this will be a win because Western Illinois has not been very good lately. 1-0.
1-1.
1-1. 1-0 in this matchup, right?
Yes, 1-1.
Then week 3, the Oregon Ducks come Lakeside.
Oh, this is great.
This is the game I'm thinking about going to. Me and CJ have been talking about potentially going to this game.
Imagine the Ducks Lakeside.
Well, there's 2 games that this is one of the games I was considering going to. Problem is like there's a chance that this is just a complete blowout, but you know, you could always go kayaking at halftime. 1-2. What are you doing here?
Do you remember when Oregon showed up to the Big Ten media days with the big ass duck?
Oh, that was fantastic.
Dude, they should bring the duck to the Lakeside.
Dude, why can't they go like when they play at Washington? That should be right there in the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
When they play even at LA, dock that shit in the Marina Del Rey, right? They should be more obnoxious with that. That is reminding me of Batman. Like I feel like Penguin did some shit like this in Batman, but they should do that. Lakeside at Northwestern. Oregon needs to dial 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE because I think that's a phenomenal idea for all their locations. I mean, really, a lot of stadiums are close to bodies of water, so they could do that for a lot of stuff. Yeah, 1-2. What are you doing here?
Yeah, they're losing this game. It's such an Oregon thing to do. Bring a big ass duck.
It's great. No, I honestly, that was one of my favorite things in college football in the past like year and a half here. Was that duck performance at the Big Ten Championship. Just a gigantic fucking duck. Like, come on. More teams. I give Oregon a ton of credit for that. More teams should be think outside the box. All right. Northwestern should be handing out like stuffed flying squirrels to their fans when they enter the game. Right. Maybe that way you get some more fans to show up.
Watch your cornhole.
Yeah. So 1-2. Then got a bye week. Look at Darnell Archer. They got to go back to those uniforms with the big shoulder pads. Look at that. Love the old logo of the N on the top of the shoulder pads. Come on now. They come out of the bye week. UCLA. This is the other one we're considering here.
Lakeside,
UCLA. Deshaun Foster. They're live in this one.
Dude,
they could win this one.
They might.
I'm giving them a second win by here.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I didn't realize they were off the bye when we did that. I guess UCLA's off the bye too, but dude, Lakeside, Nico can't fucking throw Lakeside. Yeah,
man.
Northwestern in it.
Let's go. Series goes
7-point home dog.
Series goes back to 1931. DB Cooper. No, DB. They really had a gigantic duck at the media days in Indianapolis. You should Google him. Let me see if I can quickly Google.
All you got to do is just say Oregon Duck Big Ten Media Day. It's right there on Google. It's hilarious.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, or maybe he's saying like it would be great because what would be great about if they brought it Lakeside is on every kick or every pass, you would see that duck in the background because you see that water. It'd be so fucking obnoxious. It's a fantastic idea. Phil Knight, dial 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE, buddy. All right, tell the 8-year-olds to stop making the shoes for a day. All right, they got to build a big ass. Get them to do a big ass duck. They need to sew together a big ass duck for Lake Michigan.
And you know Northwestern will just take it too if that duck just shows up. They'll be like,
we're doomed. Well, why can't you Oregon should be able to put a good couple hundred people on that duck. You know what I mean? Like, you can negate the home field edge for Northwestern by putting a solid 100 people on that duck.
What is this fucking the Troy with the Trojan horse? You fucking open up a door and here comes 1,000 fucking Duck fans into your
stadium. Oh yeah, sneak attack too, because your entry is probably the other way, right? Your entry is probably the other way. I've never been to this lakeside venue, but I would imagine this is like a sneak attack. They all just show up. You don't have security monitoring the goddamn waters of Lake Michigan. That's what I'm saying. This is a genius idea here going on. Flying squirrel statue that's another thing they should be spending their money on. So 2 wins right now.
Yep.
Then ULM comes to town. There was recent news that if the Sun Belt, ULM needs to watch how they play their cards, because Louisiana Tech might be joining the Sun Belt, and they're like, yeah, you do that, we'll jump to the FCS. Hey, ULM, I don't think anyone's going to lose any sleep on you jumping to the FCS. You don't have any leverage, really.
Aren't you supposed to threaten to go up a level?
That's what I'm saying. You do that, we'll lead to the SCS. This is like when Austin Powers, when he stays on 4 in blackjack. He's like, I too live dangerously. I will not take a hit. Sir, you have 4, right? I will stay.
Why did they threaten that?
This is a game, though, dude. This is a game.
Yeah, they might lose this if they beat.
This is a game. Because ULM's licking their chops to beat a Big Ten team, and then the fact that they're lakeside. I mean, I don't. Will it be cold? What's October 4th? No, it's still Lakeside's gonna be beautiful. I mean, I got to take Northwestern, but I mean, I could see this being a game. So that's 3 wins, right?
Yeah, I'll go Northwestern another game here. They got to have this one because its schedule's about to get real.
Yeah. Then they head to State College.
Franklin's gonna run it up.
Yeah. So what's that put them at 3-3? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-3 as they get destroyed in Happy Valley. Then Purdue comes to town. Barry Odom was on the show last year. Series goes back to 1895. Mac, Purdue, Lakeside. Man, this is the one I actually really should go to, because at least there's history here. These other ones are just stuffing down our throat here. UCLA Northwest, the great UCLA Northwestern rivalry.
This is senior day at Lakeside, the final game.
I know, these fucking idiots, man.
Northwestern Purdue senior day at Lakeside.
Unbelievable how dumb they are. This actually, I think this is the game that if I'm gonna go, this will be the one. I'm gonna text CJ tonight saying if we're going, this is the one we're going to. I don't want that Oregon shit. I don't want UCLA. I want a good old shitty Big Ten game, the way the conference is supposed to be. All right. Give me a win for Northwestern. 4 wins.
Yeah, they went on senior day at Lakeside, because now they got to go over to Wrigley after this.
Idiots. I mean, multiple games at Wrigley. You're not going to have the home edge anymore. You just
no.
How many home games did you have? 3. You had 3 home games this year, huh?
No, they played 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Western, Illinois, Oregon.
Oh, I forgot about the Western game. The Western.
Yeah, they're getting their Lakeside chops in. They're getting their laps in.
I've had so many people tell me. So many people gave me shit. They can't play Lakeside in November and December, Dundee. Why? It's their best chance of winning.
Yeah,
they're like, it's too cold. I'm like, well, fucking the CFL plays. What are you talking about? They all play. Until late in November. The same schedule as college football, and they're in fucking Canada, and they're all outdoors minus BC.
Can you imagine if USC had to come Lakeside in November?
That's what I'm saying. That would be a win. But instead, especially trying to bring in the air raid Lakeside, come on. It would be fucking hilarious. You throw a pass and the ball would go backwards, dude. It's
going to the lake.
Why are they so dumb? But give me a win here. What are you doing?
Win number 4.
Yeah. Then they head to Lincoln, Nebraska. I went to this exact game. Even in the Frost era, Frost scored 55 points on Northwestern. So I will. Give me Nebraska to win this one. Series goes back to 1902. What are you doing here?
Yeah, they're not winning in Lincoln. Nebraska's a good bully in the Northwestern game.
Yeah. Then they come out of that bye week. Look at the great Pat Fitzgerald. Show the man some goddamn respect because he's going to sue your ass for a bunch of money, I imagine. Come out of that and you head to the Coliseum in LA where you will get destroyed. But once again, damn, they got both LA schools this time. Loss. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Friday night in LA, loss.
Yeah. Then I'm glad they put that on Friday night. It's like they're just forcing us the most boring fucking game. It's like, hey, look, no one likes Northwestern USC in the same conference, but you know what? Let's put it on national TV and make these fucking people eat it.
It's on. It's not even on like FS1. It's the Fox game.
Ugh. Yeah. Michigan is at Wrigley Field. This will be 99% Michigan fans. You morons. God.
Why do they keep kissing the ass of Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State in this league? Oh, yeah, we'll just go for home advantage. Here,
no, this is all Northwestern's fault. The point of having a home game, Northwestern, is it's supposed to help you win games. The goal of sport is to win games. Win at what you do. This is going to be a bloodbath. Loss.
Yeah, they're going to run all over Wrigley.
Idiots. Then, the very next week, PJ Fleck rowing the boat into Wrigley. I suspect Minnesota will have the crowd. Loss. Idiots. You ruined your home edge. If this is Lakeside, I actually think I might take Northwestern.
I was gonna say the only team they can like pull this off against is like Maryland, because Maryland won't travel.
Yeah. But Minnesota fans are gonna say, "Hey, we get to go to legendary Wrigley Field and get shit hammered in Chicago all weekend."
Yeah,
they're going to make this a weekend.
Yep.
Idiots.
Yep. Minnesota's better too. Fleck's got a good team.
So yeah. What does that put us at right now?
4-7, and then they finish at Illinois.
Yeah, then they go to a real stadium in the state of Illinois. I almost don't want to promote it too much because they might fuck it up. Illinois Memorial Stadium, one of my favorite stadiums in America. They're gonna lose. Brett Bielema will fuck them up in the rivalry game, so they will be 4-8. And I feel pretty solid. I even think we might even be being a little generous by saying 4-8.
Yeah, we came UCLA.
Yeah. The win total is 3.5. So damn it, I'm on the over. I didn't want to be on the over on these guys, but I feel like I have to. Braun 4-8. I think is probably what's going to happen. It is a bummer because there is no Rutgers on the schedule. There is no Maryland. I even think you want I think you want all the other like Iowa and stuff just in case Iowa has a scoreless game. You're like, I feel like they always play Iowa like decently well, believe it or not.
Can you imagine Iowa Lakeside?
Perfect.
3-0, 3-2.
I don't understand why they're doing that, dude. That's their edge. You would try to make. Aren't you trying to go bowling? Like, if you play those games, if you have 4 wins and you have those games Lakeside, it gives you like a puncher's chance because I think you could beat Minnesota. Okay, Michigan's probably not going to happen, but you never know. You never know. 5-star freshman trying to throw the ball in the winds of Lake Michigan. They're killing me here, man. But I'm on the over, and I will definitely not lock this up because ULM's probably going to beat them. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll say over 4-8. Is there a path to a bowl game if they get the Tulane game? That's 5.
Well, yes, because then Minnesota at Wrigley, you never know. What if Fleck takes a job?
Yeah, all right. So that's their path, but they're definitely losing to Illinois. They're definitely losing to Michigan, USC and Nebraska on the road, Penn State and Oregon. That's 6. So they gotta find a way to win that week 1 game at Tulane, and then they gotta pull one out of their ass against Minnesota at Wrigley.
I like this, Philly JC. And do you see Preston Stone making it the whole year? Could he pull a Matthew Saluka and after 3 games be like, you know what? Fuck this.
Like, I can't throw the ball Lakeside.
Or he loves Lakeside, right? I mean, that it's a catch-22. I think early in the year, that breeze is probably fire.
He's gonna bolt after he plays Oregon Lakeside.
What year is he? He's a senior too, man. Yeah. What are you doing, dude? I don't understand. They still have Jack Lausch, international man of mystery, too, at the backup quarterback spot. Yeah, we're both on the over despite all that shit talk. So take that, Northwestern fans.
All because they won their 4 games at Lakeside. That's how we got to the over. 4 wins at Lakeside.
Yeah, and I wish horrible things for your future because you were truly, truly awful for what you did. All right, to Pat Fitzgerald, to Ryan Field. You don't deserve good things. You really don't. All right. All right. We got Coastal Carolina coming up next in about 5 minutes, but enjoy the slideshow that I did put together honoring the history of Northwestern football. I forgot to put a photo of Otto Graham, who I'm sure is rolling over in his grave while you go into this goddamn roller rink. All right. All right. Till next time, folks. This is the college football experience. Northwestern Wildcat style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Mailbox 1. You have 7 messages. 1.
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. We're the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks. Logic cause leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem. Between my 2 ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallenged and bored stiff. So arrange the pieces to appear cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Every time I close my eyes, I'm taken to the same place, a playing field, and every contestant's got the game face. Everybody's yelling, you ought to play it safe. Make sure them shoes are tied and ankles taped. Shake the cobweb, hit the ground running. This is how cunning I can get with the footwork. You're doing it right, well, it shouldn't hurt. Flirt with greatness, still I run the famous. Nice high heels, I got mics for spikes. Trampling the home team and the turf for life. For the few fleet of foot, too fast for me. I fear none, cause I run and ignore the pair of feet by the tree that are fast asleep. In love with the game, you adore the hair. I believe in achievement. My soul isn't rewarded just cause it's easy goal and moves toward it. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. conspiracy theories, gotta love them clearly. Nothing's more entertaining than entertaining a query. Just the words of the wise and the weary. Recognize the authors of reality and theory. Theoretically, I could have won Scribble Jam. In reality, I lost to a legend. Theoretically, I'm best friends with Uncle Sam. In reality, I've never even met him. Now, one day my potential may become reputation. Until then, I'm still a work in progress. I suggest you question what I'm saying. If anything, you become familiar.